describe myself as a painter, although I know a lot of people don't like the distinctions, but I think at the end of the day it does really come down to painting for me. It seems to be the most dominant process that I have. I suppose when I look at everything I see angles and patterns and structures, and it doesn't matter whether I'm supposed to be interpreting it as a figurative phenomenon or what people call abstraction, because to me abstraction seems like the same thing. It's the same thing, it's the figure-ground relationship, one thing in front of another. In 2019 I made a painting called Onomatopoeia, which was part of another show, and it just seemed like a natural starting point for this body of work. And so that idea of sound and word, the interplay and overlay of one sensory experience on another in relation to painting. If I have the wrong music playing, I can't paint properly. It's like the music invades the structure of the painting.
So I've known Diana for many years. I have really been a great admirer of her work as a fellow student in Limerick School of Art and Design, and took the opportunity when I was working at West Cork Arts Centre to nominate her for the prestigious AIB Artist Award, which she won. And in that year I moved from West Cork here to Highlanes, and so we were able to enable, I suppose, what now could be perceived as a tour. Her show Eclipse of a Title opened in Eillen in West Cork Arts Centre, then transferred here. So it's that idea of revisiting that conversation with Diana. We're really thrilled to be able to present this new moment in Diana's practice.
I always have these kind of like colour bars. They come and go throughout the painting as the painting follows some kind of a logical structure for me. And then they kind of come in and disrupt that structure and sit alone. They're almost like kind of like musical notes or chords or something that they sort of steady the painting or something. And when it kind of gets to that stage, I think, where they become quite resolute, then I feel like the painting is kind of making sense for me. I draw a lot, and then for a while I didn't draw, and I really missed it, and I realised drawing anchors my practice, because when I draw, a lot of the drawings are of people, places, things, fairly straightforward, but they create a kind of a rhythm. Sometimes I think it's of no consequence, and then it becomes huge, I've also been working with Stony Road Press, and I've produced some large-scale carborundum prints, and for me that's very important because they're prints that are very similar to how I make a painting. So they have a lot of the tactile, physical qualities of the painting, and it was very interesting working in a process where I have to slow down as well, because often when I'm painting things are very kind of spontaneous and fast, and I unpaint as much as I paint. So the printing process is a really good way of slowing that whole process down.
The opportunity of working more closely with an artist is something that we really relish in what we do in terms of touring. For Diana's tour, we're working with Limerick City Gallery of Art, who we work with regularly, and equally Galway International Arts Festival. So that idea of going to another museum gallery space and also going to a festival is something that Diana and I really were excited about in thinking about the types of spaces that the exhibition would inhabit.
The paintings are very light sensitive, so they're different objects in different places, and they have a different relationship with the architecture. Like the paintings talk to each other, they're not really in isolation. And then also in terms of lighting, like I'm very affected by light, the different light that you find, the optics of like the online world, the cyber super brightness, the light, changing light on any given day in reality, they basically all affect how I make a painting.